Welcome, welcome one and all to the Blue March Cup number 5. My name is Counterfeit, joined by D-Less as we bring you this late night piece of entertainment. D-Less, how you doing?
Well, I am doing great, Counterfeit. You know what? You tend to ask me this a lot, and my answer never really changes, Counterfeit. I'm always happy when I'm with you.
Aw, well, I kind of feel like I'm not earning it if you're just happy all the time. I think I've got to mix things up a little bit. But what we've got...
Hey, man. I think it's great that I'm always happy, especially when I'm with you. I mean, that is a good sign.
Moving on. We've got a tournament to consider here, for our happiness is found only in victory or death. And who shall we see upon this glorious battlefield here today, Deedless?
Well, it is certainly not going to be our love, Counterfeit, because that's going to be forever. However, we're going to see Oblivious allies from Japan take the first seed here in today's tournament. Below them, it's going to be Fakui versus Wild Cards, both teams from the United States of America. Then we have Heko in Mexico going up against Dynasty, both teams from Mexico. Below them, it's going to be the Impossible Missions Force, a team that we have seen a lot as of recently, coming from, I believe it's going to be Japan. No, sorry, that's Korea. And then they're going to go up against RSL crew. They are, however, from Japan.
Below there, we've got the Italian Great Clan. They get a bye through the first round. And I believe it's the New Zealand team, Old Legacy, versus the Colombian Zodiac's family, who will fight for a place against them in the Great Clan in the quarterfinals. And to finish off our brackets today, we have the two Japanese squads, Soul and Hope is Life. That's a nice team name. They will have to, one of them will survive to go to face against Frankenstein x Google, apparently a powerful partnership. They will also have another hot semi-finals waiting for them, whoever ends out winning out that first match.
And now, Counterfeit, is looking like we do have our first code of the tournament ready to go. It is going to be Wildcards versus Faku, or Fakui. How would you say it, Counterfeit?
I wouldn't say it, D-List, because I can tell that it's trying to trick us into saying a rude word, and because I spotted that, I'm not saying it.
Okay, well, let's just call them PQ then.
That's what I've been doing this whole time. But yes, we know you guys are very cheeky, and you enjoy chances to get us to say silly things. But I've been around the block a few times. I've become wise to your tricks. You have to get up a little bit earlier, or possibly a little bit later, to be able to get one over me.
So you're like smart, like Gandalf. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, maybe.
Could you be Gandalf? Do you have a beard? Can you grow a beard, Counterfeit, actually?
Not a good one, but I feel like I could probably have a prop one put on. And that's like part of the thing. So let's take a quick look up. Let's look into our Palantirs and see. So it's going to be the two American squads, PQ versus the Wildcards. We're then, following this, go on to face off against the Bluebeard's allies, because I believe we've got, well, how many teams have we got today? We've got 13, which is a pretty good harvest for iOS. We had 13 teams on Android as well, a little bit earlier on today. So, because we don't have that full 16, those first 3 seeds get that bye through that first round. And I imagine the Bluebeard's allies in particular will be looking out for the result of this first game to see if there's any particular players they need to keep an eye on when it comes to their one.
Well, you know what, Counterfeit, seeing as we are not actually getting that password in, we could perhaps go for a battle royale.
I think so. Well, so what, guys? So yes, while we kill a little bit of time, we're waiting for that one. We've got our admins in today as Pap and Aviator featured, helping us out. We're going to jump onto a quick battle royale, which will probably abandon ship on as soon as we get an updated key. But if you are watching the stream and you would like to join in before we really get into our ESL action, then you don't need a pass key, you just need to queue up for battle royale right now, and maybe just maybe, you'll end up in the same battlefield as all of us. Probably not though, because this one's just about to start.
Well, Peter, we're taking bets in the chat, guys. Which placement do you think Peter will get? We're talking top 10, top 20, top 30.
Number 1.
Or probably not, but sure, guys. Do make a very risky bet and bold bet just from the start. I'm not saying you're bad, Peter. I'm just saying that you haven't warmed up yet. And as your official coach, I will say it is very important to warm up.
That's true. You're gonna get my stretches on. All right. I mean, I wasn't really stretching. I was just making the noises. But I thought, like, you know.
See, Peter, my plan in life is to do a lot of interval training.
Oh, interval, yes.
Yeah, so that's why I run every 10th week.
Oh, okay. Wait, do you mean once every 10 weeks, or?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, that seems like that interval might be a little bit too big. If you considered maybe doing a 10th of that running every week.
See, I'm actually not that funny. It was a joke a comedian at the award show I went to yesterday made, and I just think it's funny.
I feel like, so that's one of those jokes that if it's in the context of somebody telling a comedy routine, people will probably laugh at it, even though it's not really that funny. Just because they're kind of expecting it to be funny. So, like, they'll just basically, like, at that point, they'll pretty much laugh at anything.
Do you want to hear something that was actually funny and a bit awkward?
Funny and awkward? Those are my favorite things.
So, the comedian yesterday, the award show I went to was, like, for sports organizations, because I work at a swimming club, of course, right?
Okay, sure.
So we were giving out awards to, like, hockey organizations, hockey gyms, clubs, stuff like that. And then the guy was talking about how much he loves meat and why he could never become a vegetarian. So he asked, okay, guys, everyone who's a vegetarian, could you please clap your hands? And I was the only guy who clapped.
Ooh.
That was awkward because we were like probably around like 500 people in the room.
Yeah, that was kind of unlucky. Maybe they were just shy.
Well, I say that. We probably were like 10 people, or like 5 people who clapped, but I was the only one who like clapped loud. Or loudly, rather. Come on, go. Peter, shoot him! Shoot him! Shoot him! Pipigon. Oh, Peter, I think we... Oh. Alright, they're setting up the game right now, guys, so we will have the MC5 action coming up soon. While Peter is trying to win yet another battle, he does it and kills another guy. Peter, you are extremely blood hungry today, mate.
Yeah. I think, oh, that's right, yes, so Danish it's blood hungry as opposed to bloodthirsty, which I suppose is, you know... I feel like with blood being a liquid, bloodthirsty works a little bit better. Unless you go like, you know, blood sandwiches.
See, that's true. Maybe it's just my like Danish spin on the word. That's my iconic word. Like your iconic word would probably be, I'm actually not sure what your iconic word. Your iconic word, would that be no?
Or possibly, well, actually.
Yeah, that could probably be it. Like, see, one of our colleagues, Orcs, I've been told that his like special word is what, like dicey. I think that's a word he uses a lot.
Yes, that's true. He's from a region in England which some of our British fans will know colloquially as the North, and so he has particular turns of phrases which, well, to be fair, calling something dicey isn't exactly super unusual in Britain, but I think Orcs is someone who uses certain phrases enough to be noticeable.
Yeah. See, I don't think I have like a phrase I overuse. I just tend to burn my co-casters a lot, talk about how they're bad at the game, and then I just tend to burn myself afterwards.
Man,
But hey, man, I like burning.
Well, I can see why you chose your name then.
Okay, we have a password, I'm being told. So, Peter, you may
Ah.
have to jump out. Even though there's only 8 people left, it was very, very close.
Well, there may only be 8 people left on that battlefield, but there's 10 waiting on our next. So hopefully it will be that game we were looking for. So guys, if you haven't come across these ESL streams before, we will be doing best of 3 Modern Combat 5 competition all the way up to the grand finals, which will be best of 5. From there, they'll be competing for the, let's see, so it's $100 for the blue cups, and tomorrow it'll be €100 for the red. So, hold fire, guys. We'll be back in a couple of minutes' time with our first ESL match of the day, so don't go anywhere at all, and we'll see you in a moment. Alright guys, it looks like we're having a bit of a delay on that first game. I think the PQ squad may have gotten the wrong time or similar. So rather than keeping us all hanging around, we're going to try and get another game. And failing that, we'd like to have you guys on stream to... Oh, actually, ugh. Well, just as soon as I set the game up, they come back with another husky. Gosh. I don't know why I'm so mad about this, honestly. Let's see. So, Great Clan versus Zodiacs. Let's just check to see this game is on. Otherwise, we will get you guys back on stream to play instead. Well, that's a very complicated password. Let's see. I think I misspelled it. What do I got? Okay, cool. Yes, it doesn't look like they've started. So Great Clans versus Zodiac should be coming up in just a second.
Hey. Well, so, Peter, I'm just looking forward to seeing some great MC5 action. I've been looking at FPS games all day, and well, I kind of want to continue and finish out today with even more great action. And well, Great Clan and Zodiac's family, they are sure to give us that.
That's true. There's certainly some names we've seen around the place. I think Zodiac's got that bye through their first round, so they didn't end up playing its old legacy in the end. So Zodiac's family, they've been in a bunch of tournaments recently. They made it quite far through their last outing, winning out 3 rounds before being eventually knocked out. For Great Clan, they're somewhat similar. They made it through 2 rounds as well. So both of these teams kind of, I'd say roughly middling in terms of their recent performance, but they both got the potential to show us so much more.
They certainly have, and well, kind of it. As we are about to get into the first game, we're just missing one more member from Great Clan. I kind of want you to make a prediction. It's always the color caster who makes the prediction, and I want to spread the love. I want to give you an opportunity to actually express yourself here on the stream. So, kind of it. Without you inting, who do you think are gonna win?
Well, I'm less worried about me inting than the players here. I'd say that between Zodiacs and Great Clan, I would give the edge to Zodiac's family. The main reason being, honestly, that the teams have had very, very similar performances recently. Zodiacs has just got one more win in their history. So I'd say on balance, I would give it across to the Colombian squad, Zodiac's family.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'm gonna give it to Great Clan. I think they are just overall the better team. Zodiac's family, as far as I can remember, is what, like a scrim team, a practice team. And I think Great Clan coming in with a full roster will be much better. Obviously now Elvis coming out here and picking up the first kill. Definitely showing Great Clan that it is not going to be easy winning right here.
Yes, Elvis definitely one of the notable players from the Zodiac side of things. You'll be seeing them turn up in your kill feed more often than not. Currently providing the backup for the Zodiac squad as they move in. There is Subway, who's gotten cut off somehow from the rest of the Great Clan. I can't imagine it's going to end well for them, trying to sell their lives dearly. But unfortunately, Brian says not today, and Zodiacs pick up their second.
Oh, now, well, kind of it is a game where these two teams are not going to be clashing. They're just taking it slow and methodical. Zodiacs for now with a 1-kill lead with 1 minute being played. Great Clan, I wouldn't say that they're looking bad. They're definitely not looking like the strongest team right yet, because Zodiacs, they're able to land them shots. In Great Clan, it seems like their reaction times may be a bit behind.
Yeah, the Great Clan seem to be trying to set themselves up with some form of a defensive line here. It's not working out very well, because when Elvis is watching from up on high, though of course Frank will kind of kill my point there by taking out Elvis in return, but Zodiacs have done a pretty good job so far of pushing Great Clan back into this corner. And of course, with Great Clan this far behind in the early goings, they'll be forced to come out of these limited exit points into the guns of Zodiacs.
Now for Zodiac's family, as long as they stay together as a family here, and with them having this lead, you can see how they are all the way over to the east side of this map. But as long as they stay together as a family, they should be able to cover each other, and they have quite a big lead that, unless suddenly Grey Clan is able to somehow just up the tempo of this game, Zodiac's family should have control over the pace of the game.
Great Clan are going to come charging out of their corner, managing to erase some of the work the Zodiacs have been doing, methodically picking apart the Great Clan in the early going. From the way they're maneuvering, it feels like Great Clan kind of want to set up this kind of situation where they can just sort of sit in one of the corners of the map, force the Zodiacs to come to them, but until they get the lead for themselves, it's just not a realistic possibility, and Zodiacs will keep on pecking away, building up that score.
Zodiac's now pulling out those cock Vs. Not happy with just playing straight with those sniper rifles. They also want a bit more firepower and a bit of a way of protecting those snipers. I'm especially liking Brian here with that Thompson coming out here. Sorry, Thompson, right?
Well, it's a Bramson, but it's based on the Thompson, yes.
Oh, well, Bramson then. Sorry, I always get that name of the gun wrong, but yeah, you're right, kind of fit. I really like that gun because it has a lot of bullets. It just means you can spray and pray, and you can protect a lot of area around your sniper rifles because you have so many bullets to work with. A lot of time can be bought.
Yeah, I mean, it's a game. It's certainly one of those ones that can function pretty well as a team sweeper if you get into those close quarters, as you might see in other first-person shooters as well. You know, as we mentioned, because it's, you know, a lot of these guns are based on the same real-world guns, you'll see the same sort of behaviors. But Dumbo there, that was a beautiful sniper cross. Just a little dance, saw exactly where they needed to fire, pops up, and it was done.
Ooh, and now Zodiac's family, they want to prove me wrong. Right here, Counterfeit, they have a gigantic lead. I think if my math isn't wrong, right here, it does make it a bit easier. 12 kills in the lead. Zodiac's family so very far ahead here against Great Clan, and with 2 minutes and 35 seconds left to go, and Great Clan not exactly looking like the better team here on this map. I feel like Zodiac's family, they should be able to take this quite easily.
It's looking like it is going to be an overwhelming victory in the favor of the Colombian team. They have been playing this one out so carefully, so methodically, and even with Great Clan really changing up their approach, if anything, it feels like it's actually made it a lot worse for them.
It certainly has, and Great Clan not looking like a team that can really put up a fight here on this map against the Zodiac's family. As I say, that Dragon finds 2 kills immediately. Elvis and MIT will trade that back, but 1 minute and 50 seconds left to go, and Zodiac's family edging pretty close to 50 kills.
So, 1:40 left on the clock. Zodiac suddenly sending out a message early on who said, dealers, I was favouring Zodiac's oh so slightly coming into this one. But honestly, they've really put, I think, the whole tournament on notice with this performance against the Great Clan. Well, it's not just winning, but it's the way they're winning as well. They're showing some extremely good individual skill when it comes to these one-on-one fights, and as a team as well. They're just locking this scramble map down and not giving Great Clan any chance to get back in.
Well, for Zodiac's family, that is the way that you want to play this game. Once you get a lead, you just want to hold on to it and not show any weaknesses in your armor. Zodiac's family haven't done so, have only given up 20 kills, but with a 21 kill lead, they can afford to do so. And Zodiac's family, big rush right there, 5 more kills. Will they be able to do it before the timer runs down?
Hank, welcome to the stream. We are just getting to the end of our first ESL game of the day. Of course, this is a 3-game series, or at least it might be. If Zodiacs continue to perform at the level they're performing at right now, Great Clan will not get to see that 3rd game. We do at least see the clan trying to come back with something towards the end, but ultimately, Zodiacs, with more than twice the kills of the Great Clan, take a definitive game 1.
And right there, Zodiac's family, they put themselves one step closer to showing you guys that Counterfeit can actually be an analyst right here, taking the first game against Great Clan. And I said, Zodiac's family, as far as I know, they are a scrim team, but they are playing better than a scrim team.
Alright guys, so we will be back in just a few minutes time to see more of Elvis and MIT, along with Bren, all doing extremely well in that one. We know the Great Clan. Yep, they've gotten a fair way through tournaments before, but their tournament life is on the line in this next match coming up. So don't go anywhere, and we will be back shortly. Welcome back everyone, as our second encounter between Great Clan and Zodiacs is here. Vantage our destination, and we shall see if Zodiacs can perform as well as they did in game number 1.
And if they can take this series 2-0 and prove me wrong, however, I'm still keeping my eyes on Great Clan. I know that they have the potential to do, well, great things, Counterfeit. And I'm sure that they wouldn't want to go down in a series 2-0. Especially not in the way that they lost the first game. It was like with a 20 kill lead on side of Zodiacs.
Yeah, the Zodiacs... well, we saw the Great Clan trying to play in a certain way, which just didn't work at all into the style of the Zodiacs, which are more than happy to play things out very methodically. As you can see there, Roxo gets that first sniper kill, and I know we said this before, dealers, but this is the sniper's mantra. You don't shoot from the same place twice, because if you do, you're very likely to get more than you bargained for.
Oh, so that's why I always lose when I'm playing video games, because I don't know how to walk around properly. Thank you, Counterfeit. Now I know why I'm bad.
You're welcome. It's just one bad habit at a time that needs to be changed. And Great Clan, it seems like they may have cleaned up their game for game number 2, as they are holding it dead even with Zodiacs in the early part, though. MIT's double with an imp. That's a hard thing to pull off. Will be answered immediately by a double from Dragon.
Zodiacs are ahead just by a single kill. Make that 2 kills as another imp shot comes in. MIT finds even more. And Zodiacs looking very, very strong, but Great Clan are keeping up somewhat with Zodiacs for now. Now checking in with the scoreboard, Counterfeit, please. If you could pull that up once again. We can see how it's Dragon right here, putting in the work for Great Clan, but with 3 members right now just dying and not putting in any kills, that is hurting Great Clan a lot.
Yeah, Dragon, I think, has got the strongest individual performance in the whole game, but you're right, without the team pulling their weight, it's going to get dicey. Of course, we've still got 5 minutes left of this game for Great Clan to recover. They did well in the early going, but I think the power of Zodiacs is starting to tell again, as I think the game, as the teams start to get a little bit more spread out. I feel that's where Zodiacs can thrive, where their individual player skill can shine.
Now will Zodiacs for now shining bright like a diamond, Counterfeit. MIT also being quite a star player right now with 7 kills and an accuracy of 31. This guy's popping off. Getting another kill here onto Dragon. Great Clan, you're not looking like a Great Clan right now. You're looking more like a sad clan.
Oh man, sad clan full of sad clams. I feel like that's means something maybe I didn't intend it to, but the intentions of the Zodiacs are clear. 4 minutes left to play and already the lead is seeming insurmountable. Dragon continues to perform for the squad, but with Elvis and the rest of the Zodiacs controlling the high ground. See Great Clan desperately trying to run their way up, but they're being hit from multiple angles, and everything's falling to pieces for them so quickly.
You know what, I'm happy that you pull up Dragon again, because he is the top fragger for Great Clan. But if you could take a look at the scoreboard, thank you, Counterfeit. Again, Danji and Great, 0 kills, and Great has died 8 times. This guy is being dead weight right now for his team, and I'm like, it's very harsh to say, but it just feels like if you can't give your team any kills, then you're not exactly helping them out, and you're just leading them to a defeat. Right here, MIT, 15 kills, looking extremely strong, and finally, Ganji comes in with a big grenade, finds 3 kills immediately.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is something we've been really noticing from this game, particularly from MIT. Just how smooth that sniping is. Just, popping up and down, just going in, slamming through the shots the second the opportunity is there. And again, right place, right time. MIT now, I think, feeling confident enough they can go into close quarters as a sniper to finish off this second game.
We are extremely close to doing so. Zodiacs, right here today, simply the better team between them and Great Clan. And they are miles ahead, with Grey Clan not even reaching the halfway mark it's looking like, and Zodiac's just in 3 more kills before they can finish out this game right here. I believe it is a quarterfinal actually, and Zodiacs will move into the semi-final, where they're either gonna meet Frankenstein or a team from Japan.
Yeah, definitely the horse to back. Zodiacs representing Colombia will put on a sterling performance to an even stronger showing in game number 2. Again, more than doubling by an even greater margin the kills of the Great Clan. So we shall see. Will this be a tournament for Zodiacs to perform and break through? I think, talking recently, they've actually been losing out mostly in the opening rounds to some fairly big name teams. So the true trial of Zodiacs, I suspect, is still to come.
It certainly is, as Zodiacs could potentially go up against Frankenstein. That is one of the teams to beat here today. Oblivious Allies and Frankenstein are the 2 big favorites of today's tournament, I would say, simply because they have shown in the past that they are legacy teams.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. It's not just about winning once or having a good game or a good series like Zodiacs had just there, but it's doing it again and again and trying to ride that gravy train for as long as you can. So, while we get set up for our next ESL encounter, please do come and join us live on stream. ESL Unos, dos, tres, 1, 2, 3 will be the passkey or contraseña that will get you into this game and allow you to show off your skills, maybe, just maybe impress the right people, and perhaps we'll see you in the next ESL tournament. The global chat invite is there. The passkey is in the bottom right of the screen. We will start as soon as we've got 3 people in. So, guys from YouTube, Facebook, from Twitch, Saga, if you're still around, yeah, come and join us during the break. Brian, welcome. I'm just making sure I've actually got everyone added as a friend here so I can keep spamming out those friend invites.
Brian?
That's
That's not a typical gamer name. I feel like normal human names, not something you see very often.
Well, I mean, it's Brian, so it's a little different. I mean, it's...
Well,
it's
imagine if your gamer name, or gamer tag, I guess you would probably call it, was just Peter.
Well, I did make friends with a person who's got the gamer tag of Kate, just Kate, which I was very impressed by. I was like, wow, there can't be very many people, in the world who have their names as gamer tags. So you're right, like Kinox probably wasn't born Kinox, but perhaps it's a name that can be forced into our memories. There we go. We've got a few more bodies in here, so give a chance to TL Hansen 515 to join if they feel so inclined. I think they're a little bit timid on the side of the pool. We'll throw out one more global chat invite, but we'll get this one started. Hopefully Hansen will come and join us a little bit later on. We will be back in 7 minutes or less with our next ESL match, or at least our next MC5 match. Please do enjoy the game during the break, and we'll see you on the other side. Alright guys, well played, and I saw that cheeky bit of COM4 rocket launcher in there. I like the way you guys operate. So, apparently the key to success is to have a lot of X's and a lot of N's in your name, and you'll take the number 1 and number 2 spots.
Well, congratulations guys, and really well played. We are still waiting to have another ESL game coming up. But for now, we can at least update you guys. We do have every single quarterfinal on the way. But I'm not sure if we're gonna get another quarterfinal. We may be. Well, for now, Peter, I think perhaps a battle royale is the way to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna crush it. So already I've demonstrated my value to the world by shooting a bunch of people in the face. So now I'm going to do it again by waving my arms around and eventually settling down with a good old-fashioned, maybe a Bosk, maybe an Imp. I don't know. I'll see how I feel.
Well, Peter, I think the first thing you should settle on would be a few kills and perhaps a first place.
Well, geez, you don't ask much, do you?
Well, I ask a lot, Peter. I'm your coach, and I want you to go all the way.
So, Daedalus, what who are your coaching, idols? Who are you modeling your coaching style after?
I don't think I've. See. Off of my head, I can only really remember one movie that I watched where there's like been a coach in it, and I think that was the one with what's it called? 2 seconds, I got it. Here we go.
The distinctive sound of a Google in progress.
Clint Eastwood. The one where he's like
Okay.
a baseball coach. I really liked that movie. It's called Trouble with the Curve.
Okay. I don't know if I've seen that one. What was Clint Eastwood's baseball coaching style then?
He was a bit of a dick, actually. He was not a very nice person, to be honest.
And is that your aspiration?
No, actually not. It was just like the only one I could remember. See, he knew how to spot a talent. Like he was not a very good coach. But I liked the movie. Justin Timberlake was amazing in it.
Yeah. To be fair, I think Justin Timberlake's actually a pretty decent actor.
Yeah, I feel like he's very good for like the B movies and like the rom-coms.
Well, yeah, I mean that would tend to be where you sort of assume would be the most natural fit, but I don't know. At the same time, I feel like there's. I mean, like for example, Heath Ledger. No one. Oh crap. No one really kind of gave him the time of day until he managed to find his breakout role.
in which movie was that?
The Dark Knight Rises. No, The Dark Knight. Sorry, not Dark Knight Rises.
That was like his last movie.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Heath Ledger, well, like he was given a bit more like spotlight after Brokeback Mountain.
Oh, that's true. Yes, that was a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I think so at least, because that won like 3 Oscars, but I don't think he won one. No, but he was like nominated for one.
I never saw that movie, but obviously it was very critically well received.
Yeah, it's on my watch list as well.
Ah.
Have you ever watched 10 Things I Hate About You?
I did read an article about that recently, praising it for being a very good movie, in the way that it's done. Like, even aside from it being like a teen romance movie, like just being a very well made movie. So
yeah,
I've seen some clips and it seemed very good.
I really like that movie, and I must admit that I think everyone has like a go-to movie when they're feeling down, and it's one of my go-to movies for when I'm feeling a bit sad or something, and I need to watch something where I can shut my brain off for like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours perhaps, and just focus on watching a good movie with a happy ending.
Well, there you go, guys. That's one way if you want to feel more connected to us as your humble casterinos, then you can enjoy the same media that we enjoy. But yeah, I think 10 Things I Hate About You. It's an oldie, but it's a very quality movie.
Yeah, Peter, what's your go-to sad movie?
I don't know if I've got a specific. Let's see. I know I've probably got one, though I can't draw it to mind while I'm at the same time as playing this, because it's kind of weird. I don't think it's like necessarily the memory that's being. Oh, hello.
You just killed Homer Simpson.
Yeah, well, he was overrated.
What? What? Oh, Homer is well equipped. Damn.
Holy moly, no kidding.
Yeah, well, I would probably not stand still if I were you.
I think I just got a fully upgraded Bosk as well.
Yeah. But you left the BSW.
Oh wait, there was a BSW there?
Yeah. He had a BSW. Homer Simpson was well equipped.
Oh, well, in that case.
I don't think that's Homer. Yeah, that's not Homer. You need to go more to the left.
We're on the Homer hunt.
There we go. Yeah, no kidding. BSW. Oh, but well, I have a few sad movies. Oh, nice shot, Peter.
Yeah, I like the way I slid over to that one as well. That was quite nice.
Well, since we're talking about like well-made rom-coms, one of my favorite movies of all time is also 500 Days of Summer.
That's an interesting movie, for sure.
It's really, I think it's a very good movie as well. Like, it's very well made, considering like its genre, which is basically a rom-com.
I don't think romantic comedy necessarily has to be poorly made. It's just that I think it's a genre that's people don't necessarily expect. Wait, where are they going?
Outside the circle. But yeah, you're right. It's not necessarily a bad movie, but people, they just don't. Well, often I think it's not well made. Often it's like, guys, you can have like $2 million and then you can make a movie and just give us something that will get people to go to the movies, something like that. That's often what I associate with a rom-com.
Well, I think what it is that it being a well-made movie is not necessarily like that important to it functioning well as to what it's supposed to do. Oh, flipping heck.
Damn, that was well shot. Holy damn.
That was pretty good. I'm impressed, person who killed me. But
Oh,
hey, I
well-
thought we had a good run.
Honestly, Peter, we just got a code, so that's fine.
It's like they shot the code into our heads. Alright, so we'll just try and find out.
Alright, that's gonna be the Oblivious Allies versus the Wildcards.
Wow, the wild cards! This should be pretty good. So we'll just test out that code. And hopefully, if everything is going according to plan, we'll jump right into that lobby and get our next round of ESL action underway. Let's see, I think they're nearly all there. Sorry, it was Oblivious Allies versus...
Wildcards.
Wow.
So, Japan versus good old United States of America.
Excelente.
See, I know
Oops.
the website says United States, but like since I've done so much Model United Nations, I've kind of gotten used to having to say the official name of the countries.
I think they may have started. Which would be a shame if that is the case, because that would have been a very good match to see.
Well, we can always catch game number 2.
That's true. I'm just going to test out that key once more, just check that I didn't... Well, actually no, I know that that's definitely going to be the case. Yeah, it's okay. I got a little confused because there's only 9 players in the game. Alright, well what we'll do instead is we'll get you guys out onto Scramble, which was the map that they were playing on, and perhaps you all can function as our fortune-telling mechanism. So use the passkey ESL123. Tier 7 weapons are below. Tier 3 armor and below. So we play under an approximation of ESL rules. Come and join us, and we'll get you guys to play while we are waiting for our next ESL match to come our way.
Yeah, guys, come on, we want to see you guys match up, and it is a team battle after all, so bring your friends, bring your homies, and we're gonna have some good games.
So, let's just take a quick, while we get these invites popping through, let's just take a quick look across to the bracket once more and see where we are. So, Blues Allies versus Wildcards. I don't know, let's see, actually, what game were they on of those two if they're on Scramble? They are on their first game, so we might well come back to them. Hensho in Mexico is waiting in the semi-finals. As I said before, the Zodiac's family, after beating out Great Clan, they made their own way there. So the biggest, I think, bunch of question marks we've got at the moment is this bottom of the bracket, Soul versus Hope is Life, who will then go on to face Frankenstein, who will then go on to face the Zodiac's family. So I think we may end up being able to show you guys both semi-finals today.
Yeah, well, crossing our fingers kind of it. The more MC5 action, the better.
Absolutely. And of course, any of you guys who do live in the countries which have daylight saving time or something similar, do remember that tonight is the night for it. So you'll be getting... We're starting a little bit early because of that. Because the clocks will be going back. And we'll all be having our sleep stolen away from us.
Yeah, so happy 1 hour less sleep today, guys.
Oh, hey there, MIT in the chat, and Hero Gaming 7. MIT, well, I think we were pretty impressed by what you were putting out before. Assuming you are the same person. So, Bocarina and Panchito, welcome, welcome. Let's see if we can find you some teammates before we get this game set off.
Well, we do have... How many people do we have in the chat? Oh, sorry, not in the chat, in the game now. It is,
2.
2. Well, we need 2 more guys, so that we can get the team battle on the way. It's not exactly a team battle if you're alone.
Let's see, so the invite will, of course, we'll keep spamming out the invites in the chat. I know people enjoy having spams everywhere. Let's see if we can get Mystic from our friends list to come along. Let's add these guys as well. Little did they know that it was a trap the whole time.
It's a trap. It's a trap. Well, maybe all you need to go for is the high ground. And maybe if you want to go for even a better strategy, maybe you need to be a bold one. And a general.
Ah, okay, El Grande. The old gens won the, or old soldiers as they were playing under, apparently won over on Android. So, well, I'm very happy for you guys. There was some excellent play over on the Android tournament, which was the first time we've seen Android for probably over a month. Hopefully we'll be seeing a lot more of them in the near future. We have got some plans for Android and PC finals, so hopefully those will all go lovely, and we'll be able to highlight to you Android and PC players just that little bit more. So Imposers is here. Can we find just one more person? Is that really so much to ask for?
Come on guys, join up. We need to get it going.
Hey Alberto98 over on Twitch. You haven't played Modern Combat in a while because you can't get your Android account on iOS. Ah yes. Yeah, it's always a bit tricky. Well, there will be a merge between iOS and Android at some point. I think the efforts that Gameloft have been putting in to reduce, hacking and things on Android to as good as gone are, they're taking a while to go through. And I think until that's done, I suspect that probably that's what's holding off on the server merge between the two. So it's kind of good news and bad news, as in, there's still a lot of work to be done. But once it is done, then I feel like that server merge will go a lot better than it might have otherwise. So we've got our 3 players as it turned out instead of just 2.
Ooh.
So we shall wait on the next ESL match. But while we do, you guys show off on stream. You can of course still use the passkey ESL123 if you'd like to join, or the global chat invites. But we'll be taking a break and catch you guys in just a few minutes' time. Welcome back one and all to our official ESL competition. This is another quarterfinals match. The Oblivious Allies take on the Wild Cards from the USA to go on a face-up against Hencho in the semi-finals.
Yeah, kind of it. And you know what? This is going to be an interesting match right here. Oblivious Allies obviously coming in as our first seeded team, but we also know that the Wildcards could potentially pull something out right here, coming in with a lot of shields. Interesting choice right here. Are going up here on the platform, but we know that if one or two grenades comes out, well then Wildcards, they're gonna lose out on that platform.
Oh boy, it puts me in mind of Metal Gear Solid, seeing someone go around the corner and then coming across a whole squad worth of people taking shelter behind the shield. This is the perfect scenario for the commander. Like, this is like, literally, like multiple commanders in a very tight corridor like that. I mean, I don't know why, as you said, they're not just getting grenaded immediately. And I think they will be. Yes, Flying Hawaiian gets taken out there. Oh, I love it! Wildcards, they're actually pulling off a specific strategy here. Come at the Org, it's a support throwing out a health pack behind, while the shields of the commanders hold up the front lines. It's not working very well, but I love that they've got a specific strategy.
See, if it was in a closed quarter area, then that would work extremely well. They even have placed booby traps. Like, I love the strategy. It's just not working out, because you can throw frag grenades up there. If you went down to, let's say if we were playing on rooftops and you went down to the lower base of that map and you like camped in just like small corridor, small room, then that would work out extremely well. But when you go up to a spot where A, you're gonna be very close together, and B, it's open so your opponents can just throw frag grenades up there, well, then you kind of open up for yourself to just be, well, ultimately killed by the Oblivious Allies.
Yeah, I love the idea from the Wildcards here. But yeah, you're right. They probably just need to find a way to pull off the same kind of strategy in an area where they've got some, you know, they sacrifice some of that perfect defense value, which worked so well to start with against the Allies, because I think it caught them off guard. That's literally the first time I've ever seen a team do that, and it's really cool. Like, and I think the Allies were really put off. Then they realized they could just throw grenades at them and kill them, and it started to fall to pieces extremely quickly.
It's certainly falling to pieces here for the Wildcards, and the Oblivious Allies, they show why they are the first seeded team, but Wildcards, I love what they try to do. Innovation is the way to try and take something and take something old and make it new, and they tried to find a strategy that could work against the Oblivious Allies, but unfortunately for them, the Oblivious Allies, they were quick to figure out how to work or how to shut them down. And Wildcards right now just falling pretty far behind against the Oblivious Allies, simply because they are more mechanically skilled than the Wildcards.
So we are looking forward to the patch coming in a couple of weeks' time, which will actually have some new kill streaks in it. That's all that's been revealed so far. Is it's got like a new set. So at the moment, you know, you've got the oh man, I'm going to try. This is where I'm going to misremember where everything is. But you've got the airstrike and the bombing run headed lines with the different kind of kill rewards along the way. There's going to be 3 new ones of those. Though I'm really looking forward to the details being revealed, because hopefully it's going to open up some new play styles. Much as we've seen here, the Wildcards trying to pull off a new play style hasn't quite worked out, but hey, who knows, if they develop this strategy out a little bit further, maybe in game 2, we could see a different result.
Maybe we could counterfeit, but for now, the Oblivious Allies completely dominating game number 1, and the Wildcards only getting 13 kills so far. That's nothing compared to the 43 of the Oblivious Allies. With a 30 kill lead, I don't think I've ever seen anyone have such a big lead in MC5.
It is pretty crazy stuff. I know I've said this before, when very occasionally we see it happen, but the Wildcards are still trying the same strategy. It's not working, guys. It's not working. But, I mean, I guess you've got to admire the tenacity, because, of course, the Oblivious allies, they figured out multiple different ways that this strategy isn't going to work. So they're just throwing their grenades against the walls of this walkway up here. I mean, I don't think they're actually getting kills, but I think they're just having fun at this point. Because the allies obviously have got this one by a mile. And I think the wildcards, you know...
Well, do you think, do you think it's just a mile? I would say it's a very big stretch. It's more than a mile, perhaps, what, like 100 kilometers?
Oh boy.
I don't know, do you... Actually, this is a question I've not thought about before. Do you in the UK use miles or kilometers?
I think we mostly use miles, so I suspect there's probably some things that are kilometers as well. So guys, that's...
Wait, miles?
I'll leave you to have that revelation. So Oblivious allies crushing the wildcards in game 1. They did have a numbers advantage, so I don't know. I'd love to see the wildcards. Well, actually, so this is the fate of innovators, Deedless, is that the wildcards have come up with something which might genuinely be a good idea if it was executed better. So the person who has that initial idea, honestly, it's not really worth too much, because it's kind of a rare combination to have a really good idea and also be capable of executing on it properly. And I think the wildcards have got a good idea. I'd love to see a more experienced team take that idea and really commit to it and see if they can find, you know, particular maps or particular parts of maps where that strategy can work super well.
Yeah, well, I'm going to try and keep an eye out on them to see if they can develop it, as you said, kind of fit. That's the next step for them. And, well, it did work out to begin with against the Oblivious allies. I think perhaps one way of innovating the strategy even more would be to have the same setup, but just move around the map even more. Just take... like get inspiration from the Roman strategy, where they piled up together with their spears and had like a moving tank. Sorry, not their spears, but like their shields, and had like a moving tank.
I tell you what would work really well for that is if the commander had an ability as part of their charge, that when they charge forward with the shield, that if they intercepted a grenade in the air, they would punt it back to where it came from. That'd be pretty sweet.
Kind of it. A quick Google search tells me that it's called the tortoise formation.
Oh, well, Tetsudo is what it would have been called at the time, but yes.
Yeah, well, potato. Ultimately,
you say Tetsudo, I say Tortoise. We'll be
basically,
back anyway.
Basically, guys, it's a shield wall.
Alright, well, let's build the wall in the break. We'll see you guys in a few minutes' time with Wildcards versus Oblivious Allies Round 2 coming up. Alright guys, we are waiting on our second encounter.
We just got a pass key, Peter.
Well, we're not waiting anymore! Gosh, isn't it just amazing how time flies when you're
Having fun?
Yeah. It's a cliche, but it's, you know, it's true. It's a cliche for a reason, guys. But well, so hopefully we'll end up with another entertaining encounter between the wildcards and the Oblivious Allies. The innovators of the wildcards, unfortunately, couldn't get carried through. Oh, actually, wait a second. This is going to be a different set of players entirely. This is Frankenstein versus Zodiac.
Zodiac's family.
Interesting. All right.
Who did you think it would be?
I thought it was Oblivious Allies, but I guess I was wrong. Maybe that was game 2 we saw before. Alright, well, either way around it, we have got Zodiacs, we have got Frankenstein, two very powerful teams, so we should be in for a fantastic game in the museum. We will be waiting for the last few players to arrive, but when they do, we shall return, and we'll get things kicked off for our next round of ESL competition. See you guys in a few moments. Welcome back one and all. We're getting into our semi-final stages as the Colombian Zodiac's family will go up against the yet on-stream seen Frankenstein ex-Google team representing Iraq. I presume not officially associated with Google, but we'll have to see if they can perform admirably.
Well, let's see if they can do quite some work here. Now, kind of it, obviously Frankenstein coming out, swinging out of the gates, finding 3 kills to begin with. But Zodiac's not giving up without a fight, but Zodiac's also down a man, which is quite unfortunate, but the last man joins up right there, so now we are back to 5 members on both sides.
I'm pretty sure Zan that we saw before in one of our community games, I think the Frankenstein squad members were maybe just trying to keep themselves frosty as they did get their bye through the first round. They would then go on to take out the Japanese squad Seoul to make it through to these semi-finals, but all credit to Zodiac, so we saw beating out Great Clan a little earlier on. You know, we've seen how well Zodiacs can play, and they've managed to not only just recover from the slightly harsh early game, but actually taken the lead for themselves.
Now Frankenstein and Zodiac, it's very, very close, 9-9 kind of it. No team really being in the lead, even though you said one team was in the lead. And it's mainly just 1 kill separating these 2 teams, but they're just trading it back and forth. And I like what we're seeing, that these 2 teams, they match up as evenly as they do. But for Zodiacs and Frankenstein, I'm sure they're gonna be bloodthirsty to see them win a game, because after all, it is a semi-final and the winner will go to the grand final.
MIT, remember from before, extremely strong player, but of course, doesn't matter how strong you are when the airstrikes, when the bombing runs come calling. Advantage gained across by Helix with that double kill there. Of course, oh man, XN doing a real nice job with that golden imp as well. Also in close quarters, doing a little bit of the ground and pound. Will somehow manage to get away from that one. Jumping down to the museum entrance, catching the Zodiac's members from behind, and puts Frankenstein's into a pretty healthy lead.
Frankenstein not wanting to fall too far behind against Zodiacs, even though Zodiacs, they had a streak of well, a lot of kills here in this game just a few moments ago. Frankenstein, they come in and they swing back. Let's take a look at the scoreboard, please, kind of fit, if you can bring that up. Okay, 8-7-7. Frankenstein doing quite a good job at making sure to all carry this game. Zodiacs, it's more like 7-6-4-4. So not everyone is putting in the work, and that you can see that right here on the scores between these 2 teams, with 32 and 24 being the dominating factors here for these 2 teams.
Helix picking up a couple more for the Frankenstein squad, meaning this semi-final is looking like the Frankenstein ex-Google team have got it pretty much on lockdown. We know the individual skill is there for the Zodiac's members, but as much as they might have been able to take those 2 clean games off of Great Clan with just that individual skill and finesse, I'm starting to feel like maybe that kind of thing, it pales in comparison to a team that works like an oiled machine, as Frankenstein seem to be doing here.
Frankenstein, I'm not sure about an old machine, but definitely working together pretty well. A few hiccups here and there, or you could say 31 hiccups so far. But Zodiac's falling far behind, and Frankenstein looking like a done deal right here, with them just needing 7 more kills. Zodiac's not being able to find an answer right here on Museum.
Ooh. Well, a nice flurry of kills from the Zodiacs as they come towards the end of this first game. They are closing back in again, though, as Dumbo in particular managed to make up for their much weaker earlier game. Zodiacs have been dominating that kill feed for a while, but time is running out, even with 2.5 minutes left on the clock. Frankenstein X need only a couple more moments to finish the job.
We're just gonna see if they can finish out things. 1 more kill for Frankenstein. So they actually need 6, and I'm not sure they're going to be allowed to do that, but I say that And Zodiac, they got it very, very close. 4 more kills for Zodiac could have been the dream, but ultimately Frankenstein, they end out things.
Yeah, very good recovery there right at the end from the Zodiac squad. It felt like they maybe, some kind of combination of the Frankenstein squad thinking that the game was won and the Zodiacs realizing the opportunity was there, but they got so many kills right at the end there. It went from being almost a rout in favor of Frankenstein to actually a very close game by the end.
Yeah, Zodiacs, even though they fell very far behind, as you say, Counterfeit, they did manage to pull themselves back and force a close game. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they can bring up here now that we are going to go to a second map. If they can force it to a third game, I'm sure we're going to have a pretty close one. Second game will be on the rooftops. So let's see if we can see some great action on that map as well.
Alright guys, so we'll be right back. Game number 2 coming up. Welcome back, one and all. Our semi-finals continues as Frankenstein x Google go against the Zodiac family representing Colombia. One more time on the rooftops. Zodiac's fighting for their tournament lives, and Frankenstein, their ticket for the grand final, could be punched right here.
And honestly, game one was very close between these two teams, so I'm hoping to see another close game between Zodiacs and Frankenstein, and possibly a game number 3 on construction side. But Frankenstein, if they can make their push towards the later stages of the game once again and develop a big lead like we saw in game number 1, then Zodiacs might not stand a chance.
Frankenstein with the early lead are going to take possession of the top of the rooftops as Destroy lands a lovely double kill with a single frag grenade. Know that the frag grenades have gotten a little bit more attention recently because of how effective the assault class is with them. Did have Old Hunter asking in the ESL feedback channel, which any of you guys can go to as well, put forward the suggestion of banning out the frag grenade because it's so effective now at taking people down even with a single hit. Turns out that wasn't a very popular suggestion, but there's no reason why, if you guys have any thoughts about how we could improve the ESL competitions, that you can get into that ESL Discord, head across to the feedback channel and drop in your suggestions there. The people vote on them, and stuff that gets a lot of support will tend to get seriously considered by Gameloft as a, as something to enhance the competitions.
I can understand why you would want to ban out the frag grenades though, seeing something that can kill one with only a single hit, in my idea, isn't exactly necessarily the most, how do you say it, healthy relationship in a competitive game. I think having the likes of CogVs are probably much better for a healthy game style than having a BSW or an imp that can shoot someone immediately.
Well, we just saw the BSW doing just that very thing, as Frankenstein X have built themselves up that 7-kill advantage. And much as we saw before from the Great Clan trying to take that defensive position, Frankenstein X up on the rooftop, there's only 2 ways to get up those 2 stairways, so a pretty potent defensive. But Frankenstein X, they're not just sitting on their laurels. They're going up to the rooftop, bleeding Zodiacs, and then when the Zodiacs are respawning, they're rushing down and picking up a few more kills to put themselves even further ahead.
Yeah, well, Zodiac's family falling quite far behind. I asked for a close game, and I think I might have cast a cursed this series counterfeit because Zodiac's family not looking too shabby right now against Frankenstein.
Well, Elvis got the positive KDA at the moment as Veterans grabs another one, just about to survive the encounter, rocking the heavy class. I wouldn't at all be averse to seeing a commander or 2 being brought up by Zodiacs to allow them to get up those stairs, because right now it feels like their only chance is to try and sneak kills through the skylights there, but it's not going so well because Frankenstein X, they're not waiting around for Zodiacs to draw a bead. They're going to them, and for the most part, they're coming out ahead of these trades.
They certainly are, and with those snipers, it makes it a bit easier to come out ahead. You just need one good shot, and Frankenstein, they have shown that they can land those shots right now. Counterfeit, could we please take a look at the scoreboard? I need to see who's making their work for Frankenstein. 9977. Looking good on Frankenstein. Zodiac's not as good with the top fragger being on 9. Now that's 10, however. And the second top fragger on 6. You want to have that a little less spread out and more even. And, well, if you can just spread out the load, then it makes it a bit easier for your team to help each other carry.
Well, MIT getting a little bit of attention from Masoro TV in the chat, as they are the strongest performer right now for the Zodiacs. In fact, the strongest individual performer in the game by a very small margin. But it feels like Zodiac's current plan is slowly but steadily bringing them back into the game. But slow and steady, I don't think is going to win this race because there's so little time left. Frankenstein only need to get 8 more kills, and this one this game is done, this series is done, and Zodiacs themselves will be thrown bodily from the tournament.
Yeah, now Frankenstein so close to finishing it out and going to the grand final counterfeit. Remember, here in this tournament, we're fighting for $100. And Frankenstein, moving into the grand final, will have that shot at winning those $100. They're going to be facing up against the Impossible Missions Force. They're going to have a handful ahead of them.
Alright guys, there we go. Frankenstein X, they have done it. They've secured their place in the finals. But, as you said before, there's a possibility we might be able to bring you another piece of the semi-finals. No, I tell a lie, actually. Of course not. The brackets, I just need to refresh it. In fact, let's bring it up back on the screen.
And the Impossible Missions Force, they've already won counterfeit.
They have. So there we go. Grand finals coming up in just a second. Let's get you guys into position to play on stream, because hopefully there'll be enough time to fit that in before the finals starts and we get that best of 5 underway. Needless, if they want to get in on this custom game, what do?
They type in the information on screen. They type in information on screen, right?
Yes, and that information on screen is the passkey being ESL123 or the global chat invite. All of those are more than adequate. As we'll open it up, get in here quick guys. As we said, the finals will probably be starting any second, and that means we will have to abandon ship on this community game. So if we can get enough people in time, that'll be great. If not, then we'll just have to leave it. But this will most likely be our last community game of the evening, so get in while you can and potentially secure your future as an MC5 player live on stream.
Come guys, come all, show us how to play the game, because confident now we're both pretty bad at the game. Well, to be fair, I must admit that Peter is probably better than me on iOS and Android, at least when it comes to those battle royales. I'm not very good on the Androids and on the iOS. I'm a bit fat-fingered, so I'm more of a PC guy myself.
Well, I mean, I've been neglecting my solo queue a little bit on the PC. Oh, never mind. Okay. So, we'll leave you. Unfortunately, we're going to have to love and leave you guys. As you said, we've got our finals to attend to, so apologies for all of you guys who just got kicked out of that last game. Because we've got our pass key, the Impossible Missions Force are waiting for us. So, Frankenstein X Google, to give them their full name. We'll be jumping into lobby in just a second, as will we. So guys, stay tuned. Our grand finals is just about to begin. Don't go anywhere, and we'll be back soon. Welcome back, one and all. It's time for the grand finals. Frankenstein X versus the Impossible Missions Force IMF. Let's get it on.
Now our first destination will be on the museum counterfeit. Let's see who can win right here. Is it going to be Frankenstein or IMF? IMF, one of the big teams here from Japan. Sorry. Again, not Japan, it is South Korea. And Frankenstein coming in from the good old... That is not Mexico, that is Iraq. And, well, two legendary squads.
Impossible Missions Force, they were the winners of the Blue March Cup number 4. So last week, they took the top spot. And they are certainly starting out this first of a potential 5 games on the museum looking pretty darn strong. Let's see, so it's Taco, our good friend Taco. Oh boy, when will the twain meet again? Taco and Crispies, those were the days when the world was young.
Sure, counterfeit, but today is not the day IMF and Frankenstein. They are enemies today. They will not be collaborating, they will be shooting each other.
Can't we all just learn to get along? Frankenstein X Google. They actually haven't played for a while, but both of the teams here in this final here today, last time they played, they won their respective tournaments. So 2 tournament winners going head to head. Of course, for Frankenstein, that was back in January that they won theirs. For IMF, it was just last week, but things seem to be swinging back the other way as Avicol grabs a couple of kills there for the Frankenstein squad, and IMF start to slip.
And now Frankenstein starting to pull themselves ahead, only with 4 kills, but IMF, if they're not careful, then 4 kills could become a 5 kill lead, then a 6 kill lead, and it would just expand for Frankenstein. But Frenchie will not have any of that, as he finds another kill for IMF. And the game score is only 2 kills ahead.
Avicol doing a real nice job for the squad as Bleach able to deploy that military support to keep Frankenstein in the lead. You can see the explosion starting to rock this world as Raphael comes through, takes out Bleach. Avicol getting flanked there, but has backup from the other Frankenstein members to keep things just as they were before. The points tick up, but Frankenstein stay 4 ahead.
They certainly do, and Frankenstein, they will not give up their advantage. They will not give up their lead. Can we take a look at the scoreboard counterfeit, please? I would love to see who again will be the big fragger. Avicon, as usual, being the big man here for Frankenstein, putting in the work. And now with those bombers coming in as well, Frankenstein looking to not only put in the work, but also put in the bombs here against IMF.
IMF do catch up though, thanks to Taco and Frenzy, both putting in a huge amount of work. So Frenzy, Taco, Raphael, all pulling their weight on the squad as we come to the halfway mark of our first grand finals game.
No, IMF ahead. Counterfeit. What the hell is happening? IMF and Frankenstein. Neither team giving up. Neither team really pulling ahead. IMF just with a single kill. But Frankenstein, they can turn this around in just a matter of a second. I think that this game is going to go down to the very last kill with the way these two teams, they have been playing.
Extremely close one, just what we'd like to see from 2 tournament winners, both showing that they were worthy of that tournament win, but only one of them, of course, can take this first game and ultimately the whole finals itself. GG Hadid, remember before, was a bright shining star for the squad, but this time round seems to have been eclipsed by a few others, including Monster, who's almost started to get something rolling before being taken out by some stray military support.
Military support is usually a good way of taking someone down. Frankenstein only 2 kills behind Counterfeit. Maybe they could use a bit of a military support as IMF. They make a straight push and they get a 5 kill lead with only 2 minutes and 15 seconds left to go.
Frankenstein, they are now the ones who are 4 behind from being the ones who are 4 ahead before as Bleach gets into that short-range firefight. Does catch Taco sneaking up the stairs. Would have been behind all of the rest of the Frankenstein members, but unfortunately, Taco, that rearguard action by Bleach keeps a disaster from developing. Still, IMF are ahead. This corridor getting lit up with explosions as the Frankenstein team try and set up their base of operations in these corridors.
Frankenstein sticking together, usually the right way to go when you are behind, making sure that you can cover each other's backs. But Avikoi goes down, same goes for Helix and Bleach, and Taco, however, will die for IMF. That is not enough. IMF, 6 kills ahead. Frankenstein looking like they're gonna take their first loss here in this best of 5 series on the museum.
Last chance as Destroy has been leading out the team for a while in terms of raw kills, but that being handed across the Helix and Avicol in the late game. I think Avicol, we pointed out before, for being probably the strongest individual player on a very competitive and game Frankenstein X Google squad. Nice catch there, but Frenzy with a combination of the Mirager and that grenade kill will put IMF into the lead in this Grand Finals Best of 5 series.
Well played by IMF, and now we just need to see them win 2 more games and then they will have won this Best of 5 series. But I must say that here between them and Frankenstein it has been close, and I'm not sure we're going to see a straight 3-0.
I'd be very surprised at that as well. Commendations to Frenzy for the IMF squad, extremely strong along with Taco. I feel like the Frankenstein X overall team, we can see their best player performing a lot better. Their weakest player performing a lot better on the Frankenstein X team. So overall as a team, it feels like they may have a slight edge, but they just don't have those 2 top scorers to call upon. We'll see what happens as we get to break, getting ready for the second encounter between IMF and Frankenstein X. Our finals continues after the break. Welcome one, welcome all, IMF versus Frankenstein X Google. Our grand finals continues as we now head to the construction site. Let's build a snowman, D-less. will make him out of bullets.
Is that a snowman then? Wouldn't it be a bullet man?
Yeah, well, you know, if I said a bullet man, you wouldn't know what I was talking about.
No, that's true. Well, let's make a snowman, and then we can give him like a beer made out of bullets. I think we can get to that compromise. For now, IMF making sure that their bullets work, finding 3 kills already from the start.
Yeah, and they're actually spreading themselves out around the map pretty thinly, just kind of hitting it from all the different angles, which could give Frankenstein a way back into the game if some of these trades don't go as planned. Destroy just about surviving that last one. IMF with the 1 game advantage, they've got the chance to take over this final series entirely with a 2nd game win, but maybe some of that confidence from game 1 could come back to bite them if Frankenstein are given the chance.
Frankenstein, they don't want to go 2-0 down here in this grand final, so they need to pump it up, put in some more steam, show IMF that this world will not be the Korean world, and that Iraq, they can also play MC5.
You know, Dealers, when I spent some time in Malaysia, there was the phrase I learned: "Pitong steam," to cut someone's steam off, to kill the momentum and their energy, and that's what seemingly like IMF are managing to do here to Frankenstein, just really shutting them down. I mean, before, Note made a big deal about talking about the Frankenstein squad managing to stay ahead by 4 kills in the early going. Right now, they are being pushed down all the way through this 2nd game.
Well, it is interesting to see that Frankenstein aren't doing as well here in this game as they did in game number 1. IMF pulling pretty far ahead already from the start, and with only 2 minutes being played, it is surprising to see how IMF they are that far ahead. Just again considering how we saw game number 1 play out in the early couple of minutes.
4.5 minutes left to go, nearly a full 10 kills ahead for IMF. Some very strong performances again. Frenzy, most worthy of praise in the first game, able to finish out the game in quite some style, is also performing very well here. Gigi Hadid, we kind of provided a little bit of critique to before because of our high expectations, is also stepping up alongside Taco, as IMF, they look to prove our earlier assumptions that this wouldn't be a 3-0 series wrong with a compelling game 2 victory.
IMF looking so strong right here. 9 kills ahead. Make that 8. Make that 9 once again as kills they come flying in. But Frankenstein, I like that they're starting to show a bit more life and that they are fighting back against IMF. The question is just, is it too late? Or can Frankenstein still make that comeback? For now, IMF in complete control with 3 minutes and 35 seconds left to go. Frankenstein, they really need to find a miracle and make it work right now.
Well, we'll have to find if there's any miracles on 24th Street. Certainly IMF living the high life on number 33, showing very few signs of slowing down at all. Of course, Avicult, the one they would look to, but wow, Monster smashes through 3 kills in a row, looking to try and finish off the job and take down the entirety of Frankenstein if they can.
Well, he is certainly trying so right here, trying very hard, and Frankenstein only just getting past that 25 kill mark is a worrying trend. And if they keep that up in the 3rd game, then I think we're gonna have a 3-0 grand final that will end on scramble. Would be a bit sad of an experience to have, but just goes to show how incredibly strong the Impossible Missions force they are right now. Haven't lost a single game as of yet in today's competition. 2-0 in the first round, 2-0 in the quarterfinal, and 2-0 in the semifinal.
Yeah, real impressive stuff. And this is kind of replicating what we saw from them last week. Yeah, very, very dominating performance. I'm going to have a quick check across. So yes, last time round, similarly to today, they went up against Encrypted in the grand finals, and they didn't lose, and Impossible Missions Force didn't lose a game then either. So, honestly, I think we might be seeing the emergence of a new dominant force as Frankenstein X. They are quite the team to try and take down in the grand finals, but IMF, they are making it look easy.
They certainly are, and Frankenstein, they need to pull something new out of the bag. They need to try a different strategy and just be better as a team. They need to come in with those mechanical skills and show us that they can put up a fight against the Impossible Missions force, or they will lose this grand final 3-0.
Alright guys, we will return in under 7 minutes for our third and potentially final game of our grand finals. Will IMF hold on to that unbeaten streak and start to establish their own legacy in Modern Combat 5 esports? We shall find out coming up after the break. Welcome back, one and all. Our grand finals could come to an end right here and now on Scramble, as IMF have dominated in both of our first two Grand Finals games. Dealers, you didn't believe it could be the 3-0. Have your opinions changed?
Hey man, I never said I didn't believe it could be a 3-0. I just said that I hope we got a close series. But IMF, they have shown up today and they are showing the world that they are the better team here against the Frankenstein squad. Simply because they are mechanically skilled and outmatching Frankenstein on every single aspect.
So IMF as a team, they've had this amazing run this week. They had this amazing one last week, but the week before that was nowhere near as good for them. They're very curious. I think I have to try and get a word with Taco, who is the team owner of Impossible Missions Force, to try and find out what it is that they have been changing up between tournaments to really accelerate their progress so dramatically from where they were before to now just being a team which looks like, if essentially, the team to beat.
It's certainly looking like the strongest team in these blue iOS Cups. Frankenstein, even though we know they are a legendary team, are falling quite hard from grace, and this South Korean lineup came out of nowhere, but they are taking the scene with storm.
Well, it's worth noting that even while IMF are listed as a South Korean squad, look at their player profiles. Taco is from Germany, Raphael from Switzerland, Gigi from Iraq, and Sirius from Germany. So they're a pretty international collection of teams, but they're showing up extremely well against the Iraqi team Frankenstein, and these first 2 minutes result in a 6-kill lead.
Certainly have an IMF. With those 6 kills in the lead, are sitting quite comfortable. 5 minutes left to go, kind of fit. Frankenstein trying their hardest to keep up here with IMF, but whenever Frankenstein they take 2 steps forward, IMF they take 6 steps as well. And they are always just so very far ahead.
Monster doing a fantastic job in this game of just slamming in to the Frankenstein squad and forcing through so darn many kills as more and more trades go unanswered from the Frankenstein team, and I just don't know where this leaves them except in the direst of dire straits. This could be it. IMF just need this game win to call themselves champions. Frankenstein X, they've got a mountain in front of them. You know, just getting past this game itself seems like an impossibility, let alone turning this series around and going for the reverse sweep.
IMF, they have just been looking like the stronger team, and I like what you're saying, kind of fit. And obviously for Frankenstein, it's looking like an impossible task to pull back, well, both this game as you mentioned, but also just the entire series. And against the Impossible Missions Force, who are just looking like the strongest team, I don't think they'll be able to do that. Frankenstein, they haven't shown anything new here in game number 3. They haven't shown that they have an idea about how to deal with IMF. And Frankenstein, they are just falling prey to IMF here today without being able to stand a chance. We're gonna have to see them perhaps make something new happen next week.
I can see there's some critique on the YouTube chat about the players playing too much MC5, which is firstly something I take issue with. But secondly, I don't know, I've always found the idea
How can you be a pro player if you're not playing the game?
Well, that's the thing, like, I've never understood the idea of somebody, you know, playing a huge amount and getting very good at something as being a negative thing. I mean, I can understand if you're the person who then loses to them, but I kind of feel like that's how it should be, surely. If people put the time into getting really good at a game, they should be rewarded, and I mean, that's what's going to happen here.
I must say that I think that when you turn pro, and you start to feel like you're playing the game too much and you don't really enjoy it anymore, it's still your job. So I feel like you should just put in a set amount of hours that you play the game. IMF right here winning this grand final, congratulations to them. But to finish out my point, I feel like you have a normal job, you go to work at 8 in the morning, you go home around like 4. I think you should do the same when you turn a pro, just so you still put in the hours for your job.
Alright guys, so there you have it. IMF, Steelers said, get the 3-0. They have started what could be another Roxas-like Another Victory of Lords-like journey here. Right now, on top, unbeaten for 2 tournaments straight. That's a feat that not many teams can call their own, but IMF can do so. Of course, these weekly tournaments do lead to the monthly tournaments down the line, so IMF, they'll have to remain dominant for a while if they want to really benefit the most from what they have accomplished here today. But for now, guys, that will be it. Our tournament is done. IMF are our champions. If you haven't already, please do give a follow on Modern Combat on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, Mob Crush, and Twitter. If you'd like to see more of Daedalus, you can find them at Daedalus Casts on all the social media platforms. Of course, you can find more of my good stuff at Counterfeit Cast on the same kind of thing. Our thanks to our admins, Aviator Featured and Pap, stepping in for today and doing a wonderful job of getting everything done nice and swiftly. We will be seeing you guys at, well, let's see, so in roughly 13 hours time for our last tournament of the weekend. But we hope you guys have enjoyed what we've been giving you guys today. We'll hopefully see a lot more of the IMF, and we'll hopefully see a lot more of you guys tomorrow.
Stay tuned.